Hello guys, it's Rango and welcome to day 2. And on here I have in the background here the day 2 footage from today. Today is April 15th, 2025, and so far from what I've noticed throughout my training is that I use a lot of my upper arm and shoulder, kind of in not quite the tricep area, but that middle area in between the bicep and the tricep. I did notice that while practicing, I somewhat was improving a little bit. Other places it seemed like I downfalled a little bit, not sure why that is. As you'll see in the background, like some of it seemed like compared to the other video, some of them seem better, some of them seem worse. I don't know. It's a little bit inconsistent, but again, it's only day 2. We're gonna keep continuing on and seeing what goes on from there. With that being said, I'm sure you guys have noticed that the video I put out previously before, it is the day 1 improvements. I played that early this morning, fresh out of my mind, ready to go, and boy oh boy was I hitting shots on that first game. That's I only played the one game, team deathmatch on the finals, and I was hitting some pretty good shots. It felt like I felt pretty good. I felt like my target switching was good. I felt like my recoil control and tracking was good. I was able to really see my targets, hone in, focus, get in the zone, like auto zone, you know what I mean? And just lay down the work. I was able just to lay it down. So I was very proud of that, very happy with that. One of the other things too that I noticed seems to be helping me in terms of my accuracy and when it doesn't, and that is the amount of pre-mental exercise before I play and train. What do you mean by that? So by that I mean things like when you wake up, do you first go to the toilet, do your stuff, wash your face, take a shower, then go play games? Or do you do your morning routine and then go work on a project that you need to do? Like, I need to go clean the dishes, I need to do some laundry, things like that. So I noticed on day 1 when I was doing this, I didn't do any of that. I just kind of like woke up, did my morning routine, went straight to it. I did my workout, went straight to do the training video, played a couple games, and moved on from there. I did okay. This morning I woke up, did my morning routine, and did some yard work outside, went and did some laundry, what else did I do? I rearranged my living room. Using my brain, I was very much, let me think of how I can do this. I very much was in like a productive state. So when I hopped back on, I noticed that I was able to get in the flow and the the flow state a lot better and a lot quicker and easier, more than I normally would have. So I definitely noticed that is a big factor. And the other thing too is about like the morning breakfast, whatever you had there. For me, it was some toaster strudels and 2 eggs. Totally balanced, right? That with some coffee. I usually do a double shot of espresso in the morning. About 90 minutes after I wake up seems to be the best amount of time that caffeine has to settle in, instead of waking up, taking a shot, and getting ready to go. I find that doesn't work as much as it does for if I wait a little bit, wake up, do my morning stuff, make my breakfast, make my coffee, then it really works pretty well for me on that. So as you see here on the smooth bot, I was actually doing pretty good. I felt very consistent on that. I definitely noticed today more than yesterday that my smooth bot was a lot better. And I'm sure if you just saw on that score there, it dipped down pretty hard, had a hard valley on there. So I was very surprised to see that my tracking was really on point. The thing that I really noticed and what mattered to me in terms of like, yep, this felt right, I know, very big scientific words there, was partially tracking the target with my eyes, but also unconsciously tracking it with my cursor, and I know that doesn't make sense. You know, it's like, hey, do you want to focus on the cursor, or do you want to focus on the target? And for me, I'm doing simultaneously both, if that makes sense. So I'm watching my target, predicting its movements. At the same time, I'm also telling my brain, like, is if this little crosshair dot is not in the exact same spot that it should be on my target, there's something wrong. So I'm kind of not necessarily focusing on what I'm doing with my body in terms of like my arm, wrist, hand, fingertip movements and things like that. I am in a sense, just not as much as I'm like, okay, I'm watching my target and then doing. It's kind of like writing a pencil or writing with a pencil and pen. You know how when you would learn it, you would very much trace and like A, B, C, you know, that kind of stuff like that. Over time, you get kind of used to it, so I'm kind of applying that method here. So I'm improving my aim. I know what I got. I got my fundamentals down in terms of like my seat posture, my hand grip, my arm placement, mouse pad, equipment, so on and so forth. I got that on and going down the path. So I'm mostly trying to kick that into a subconscious level so that way I can just focus on the target and really improve my aim on the microscopic level. Not physically, but mentally. Because there gets a point where it's overworking yourself, so you're kind of like, oh, am I doing this right? Oh, wait, hold on. I need to like micro adjust and like do micron millimeter adjustments, and that just kind of hurts improvement, I feel like. So for me, it was just straight up focusing on that, looking at my target. Is my crosshair in the yellow, things like that. Now on here on the plaza, as you saw, what I was mainly trying to focus on is that yellow. And here's a good example with the spear. The yellow, you'll see that my cursor kind of hangs on the outside as it's wherever it's going, right there, kind of on the back end. Because then that helps me develop a more of like less chance to overcompensate, because if you overcompensate you want to overcorrect, and then that feels like it's a lot of work. So if I stay behind my target as I'm reading it, the more it tries to shoot off, the less distance I have to compensate, and two, it feels like I'm not overcompensating in a sense. Instead of like, oh, I gotta turn left and then I gotta turn right, it feels like I just gotta, smooth left, smooth right. Okay, I see what it's doing. Things like that. So that's definitely one of the things I've surely noticed here. But overall, scores improvements, not really. Only on a few. I saw semi better scores than yesterday. You've seen them as they've just been popping up there on the scorecard there. For me, what I'm figuring out, that my strong suits are somewhat precision. I'm very good at accuracy. I'm very good at tracking. But those things where they're static and you need to click on the small dots, those, yeah, that I'm like, I struggle with that one, and I struggle with the super high up, super high low. I forget what it's called. It's not the bounce shot, but it's the other one. It's like, I think it's benchmark number 4 or 5. No, it's not 5. I think it's 4. 3 or 4. It's either 3 or 4. One of those on there. But the one where I have to like kind of track it in an upside down U state, that one I really struggle with. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because my sensitivity is too low, or if my mouse arm isn't in the right spot. Because I notice whenever I do that one, I'm doing a lot of up and down motion, and I have enough space on my mouse pad to do up and down and left to right. I don't feel like that's an issue, but I also feel like I don't, and it's something I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. So as you see there, I made some good improvements over day 1. This is day 2. I'll get some gaming in reps tonight, and then we will go from there. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for keeping up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.